Hello, guys. Welcome to Rex Arthur Show. And today I want to do a very special video on economics. I love economics and I've written books on economics. I give views on economics. And the one of the books I love is the Rainbow Economics. Now, I want to discuss rainbow economics because what I mean by rainbow economics is an economic system that is based on diversification. The main thing is diversification. Of course, it is similar to the rainbow economic system is similar to the mixed economic system that exists in the world today, where you have capitalism and then you have the communism, and then you have the very many models in the world. Like you have the economic models like the Nordic model, and then you have the Chinese model, but mostly the Nordic model, which is my best model. I like the Nordic model, and because of the Nordic model, that's Scandinavian countries, they are very welfare based, social welfare. At the same time, they are, they are very welfare based, and they are the governments are very active in serving the people. Then I also like the new system, this one that is coming up, basic income. The basic income system, I like it so much because it gives people capital. Basic income is just like saying basic capital. And I'm going to write another book entitled Basic Income, Basic Needs, whereby I'm calling for governments to provide freely the basic needs of all the people in their country, and then the basic income for all their people in the country, whether they are working or not. So, because basic income is different from social welfare and the benefit system. The benefit system is whereby if you are unemployed, you get some money. If you're employed, you don't get that money. And then social welfare, you are kept, you get a check every month to keep you running, especially if you're sick and disabled. And in single mothers, they also get, or even single parents. Yeah, a single parent should also get a check, in the sense that if the parent is a male and he has children, yes, they should also get, even though he's working. Because why are you giving the single parent? It's because there's a parent missing. There's a parent missing. So what you're trying to tell the world is that a functioning family must have two parents. If one parent is missing, then that parent needs support, whether he's male or female. So I know the feminist movement is there. They have tried well to support women's rights, but also they shouldn't forget that there are also males who are single fathers, single fathers, and they are there. They take care of their children that maybe they were left with, or because of divorce or something like that. Yeah, so they also need support. But what I like about basic income, you get money whether you are working or not. So the advantage of this, why I like the basic income, and then now I have rainbow sized all of those models. I've mixed, capitalism. What I find good in capitalism is the liberty. You are free to be creative, to set up a business. All you need is capital. and then communism or socialism, but communism is a bit different. It's much a hardcore socialism. Is also good because you get to work with people, as a community, as a unit. You have the groups, and then I like that about communism and socialism. Then I also like the Nordic model, as I've said, because the Nordic model is very welfare based. It's focused on people, on making sure people live well and in a tolerant society. So, and then the fourth one is now the basic income. I have also put in that in this rainbow economic system to have a taste of all of this. Now, why did I call it the rainbow economic system? Now, I call it a rainbow economic system because of the diversification of the persons involved in the economy, because now we are now living in the age of identity, where people are now focusing on identity rights. As I've told you, like the feminist movement is also an identity movement. Yes, it is there to help women, because identity is very important. That's why we have identity cards. Yes. The LGBTQ movement is also an identity movement, because LGBT persons have an identity. But now what happens is the old system never factored in these identity movements, both the feminist, both the LGBTQ, and also racial identity. You see, most of the laws in very many countries they're old. They were written before these identity movements came. Even constitutions, they were written before these identity movements were there. But the good thing, like the American Constitution, is a very good document, because it recognized human beings. However, it was ironic. Even you see what happened. It was a document that said "we the people," meaning it was recognizing. But the slaves were not recognized as people. So there was slavery when they were saying "we the people." So the question we were to ask the framers was, were the slaves, were they people? That's what we need to ask them. And of course, some of them, and that's why there was war. There was a need for war in America, and it happened, and America changed. So we thank Abraham Lincoln for standing with people of color. And we even thank the North, the north side of America. It's even more developed than the south of America because of that resilience to stand to let black people be free, that the black people are people, you see. So, and that's why Brown versus the Brown case, condolences. Linda Brown just passed away. Brilliant thing happened in the courtroom when they allowed black people to be educated together with the white people. Can you imagine? America is so similar to South Africa. It's very strange. And so what happened is that now the Brown, all of these, you see, the reason why the Brown versus Board of Education existed was because the segregation was there. The laws, the Jim Crow laws and all of these laws, they shaped the psyche of the American nation. And even now, 50 years later, after Brown versus Board of Education and the Jim Crow laws, there's still a need to reconstruct the psyche of the nation. It's not easy, but it's going on well. It's progressively going on well. MLK was also the architect, and he's an architect of the identity, free identity, recognition of all identities. Yes, he's a very important architect. That's why he got a Nobel Peace Prize. Yes, he got it. He's merited to get it because he was out to create a peaceful society. And you know what peace means? Peace means prosperity, especially if you know. It's good to learn languages. I am always learning, and Hebrew, shalom, means prosperity, which is also peace. You know, when you greet somebody, you say shalom and shalom, and even in Arabic, you also say assalam alaikum. You know, peace be upon you is a greeting, and it means prosperity. Blessed, you're blessed. You know, take care. I hope you're doing well. You know, how are you? You know, so good morning. You don't say bad morning. You say good morning. So we humans are more positive, and that's our nature. We want things to work. That's our nature. We want things to go well. And so MLK was a good architect of that. And there's a very good video that's doing its rounds. He explains economics very well in less than 10 minutes. What happened in America, that the black people, they didn't get land ownership. Do you know that is priceless. He finished it. I don't even need to talk about economics forever, you know. So much of Professor Umar and the other black intellectuals. Yeah, he finished it. That's the whole thing. Because when you have land is natural capital. Because you can do anything. You can just go get seeds, plant. You can get poultry, put them. That's the power of land. You can build nice units, and you can do anything on land, and it will bring you money. That's why. And so he says that even when the slaves were emancipated, they were not given land. Of course, they were told to go to Liberia, which some of them didn't want to go. But I mean, why give them Liberia and they've already lived in America? Just give them land. Yes, but that didn't happen. So I'm happy with what MLK said. I didn't know he said it. And when I heard it, I said, yeah, he has finished the economic problem. Yes, he knew what was wrong. And that's what's supposed to happen. Now in the identity economics, whereby you empower people, you recognize you have diverse identities. That includes diverse sexual identities, diverse racial identities, diverse culture. I know it looks so much. People don't like that. They just feel like, oh, yes, why aren't we dividing ourselves? No, it's not about dividing. It's a fact. These identities, we are diverse. Much as we are all humans, we are also diverse. And you see the American system, that's why I laud it. It's because, you know, out of many, we are one. Yeah, that was what it is. It's all about that. And I hope it's just that, you see, the deconstruction process in America is what is needed to reconstruct the minds, people of Jim Crow. You know, because I remember what Trump used to say, let's make America great again. And I was asking myself, when was America great? Was it great during Jim Crow? Was it great before the Civil War? Was it great when Obama was president? You know, there are many times it was great. He needs to define when that greatness was. But when you look at his age, you will understand him. You know, sometimes thanks to education, these days, you know, you don't just rant and attack somebody. You also give time and study them. And you look at his age, he's in his 70s. So this means that Trump's psychology was very built in the 1950s. Yes, when he was, you know, when you're young, you're adolescent, that's when you're so patriotic, you love life, and you're still naive. That is now what, if a deep psychologist should go and study Trump's early childhood and his contemporaries at that time, and you'll notice something. Before the 60s, America was still a segregated place. Yes, the black people were still not being given opportunity. But, so it kind of affects your psyche. Yes, like, can you imagine there was this lady, she was going to get a job. I'm sorry, internet now, we know many things. It's just, and Facebook gives you all of that. I think she was, they were interviewing her for one of this job in the judiciary in America used recently. And they asked her that was the Brown versus the Board of Education decided rightly? And she couldn't answer. She couldn't. She was just dodging and saying, I can't go. All she needed to say is yes or no. And she needed to say yes, because it means that she has left Jim Crow. Yeah. If she said yes, it means she has left Jim Crow and she's standing with the Brown. She's standing with MLK, because MLK is the real architect of the new America. Yes, the new America that was now, it reached its epitome with the Obama presidency, because nobody ever thought that Americans would ever vote in someone of color to the White House. Never. It was a very symbolic gesture by the American people. It shocked the world. And it's good. Yes, that was what was supposed to happen, to let people understand that. Of course, even during the time of the election, I wanted Hillary Clinton to win, because it was the identity movement was working well. Not that white men shouldn't be in power. Democracy is whatever it is. But it was just a good movement that, now even women can be considered. Yes, and let the woman work and see her weaknesses and her strengths. It's not that Obama was even God. He also had his weaknesses. And you see, all of those. And everybody has their weaknesses and strengths. And so, but what I like about the Obama presidency, it was a presidency that was epitomizing what MLK stood for. An America that was diverse and united. Because in Obama's presidency, he put black people in power, he put Latinos in power, he put LGBTQ people in power. That was beautiful. Diversity, yes. And even Trump should keep that flowing, because it's not just a Democrat Party principle. It should be even Republicans, that they should also be people of diversity. These things of partisan, because if it's going to be partisan, what if the Democrats win in 2020? You see, what is going to happen? They'll diversify Trump's administration.